the 14-day fast that you did recently, right?
Yeah.
How did that go? How did that come about?
I got really injured after the Antarctica one, where I showed up injured.
Theme with your runs.
Well, it's just been backstory on being injured before we go any further. I've been flat-footed my whole life. It's like no business running, and I never tried to fix it. During that 300-mile run, my orthotics were causing more problems than helping. So from like mile 80 to mile 300, I ran without orthotics, and I had never ran without orthotics before. I obliterated my body. Like from like the heads down, just destroyed it. So this past like 5 months has been a lot of me building an arch and building a foundation and getting my body back to being able to like not have flat feet, have correct like aligned hips. So now I'm not getting injured anymore. I'm running again, but hopefully, fingers crossed. Not. What was your question again? I got on a tangent there.
What was my question?
Fasting. Oh, how did it become about?
Yeah.
So I was injured, not able to do anything. I needed to do something hard, like difficult. And I was browsing YouTube and saw Mr. Beast. You know who Mr. Beast is?
Of course.
Right. So he was trying to do a 30-day fast and got like 12 days in. And I was like, if this fucking guy could do it, like, I'm going to be fine. So I saw he had nothing. He had no electrolytes. He had no nothing. I was at least going to do electrolytes just because I was like, I'm not going to work out. I'm not going to like try work out with only water. I'm going to die. He did 14 days, just electrolytes, 0 calorie electrolytes and water.
Well, how were those 14 days like?
Oh, pretty bad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk about like what goes on during a fast. And what I found, everyone talks about mental clarity. You're going to be dialed in all day long. If you have a decent diet, that never happens. Like people who eat fast food or eat high carb lunches where like they feel like they're crashing halfway through the day, it's because that's how you're eating. So when you're on this fast, for the first 3 or 4 days, you should have consistent energy because your body's going into ketosis, is producing ketones and using your fat as an energy source. So like you just have a consistent energy source. So if you usually just don't eat really high carb lunches, you're gonna have the same energy as you would on a normal day. Past day 4 just gets really, really rough in regards to hunger. My hunger never went away. Everyone's like, oh, you stopped getting hungry. It's like, nope, I was hungry literally every second of every day for 14 days. I noticed that from day 5 to 9, my cognitive function started to decline around 2, 3 o'clock. By day 9, my cognitive function was kind of like ending at around 11 a.m. And in like days 12, 13, and 14, like wake up, get an hour of work done, and like I was useless past that. I was like essentially like you could actually feel like if I stopped hydrating and like stopped taking my electrolytes, like you start dying, like straight up dying, like standing up, like full on, like can't see anything for like a minute or two. You start to feel feverish, like you are legitimately like, sounds terrible, like you are literally dying.
Did you have to like distract your mind? Like how could you not because when I did my 16-week thing, and that's nothing like that, but I could tell my body was like signaling to me like you have to eat. Like I would talk to people around me and I'd just be talking about food. On my YouTube channel, I do like community posts that would all be about food. Yeah. It's like your body is telling you like eat. So how did you like distract yourself from that?
I tried in the beginning, and I was pretty successful until about day 10, because personally I try to limit my social media usage because it just burns through your fucking concentration. Like, dude, I doom scroll for like an hour. You've essentially just reset your concentration in 7 seconds. So I try to not do that for the first, week or so, and then eventually it was like there's nothing I could do. So I would try to watch like long form movies or like long form YouTube. But like when it came to like day like 10, 11, 12, 13, like I'm like, all right, like I finished work for the day. I'm on the couch, laptop, like phone, chargers. I'm not moving.
Did you watch any food?
Dude, it was like half the things I watched. I was all day long.
I don't know if you knew who Frank the Tank is. Yeah. I was watching his hot dog reviews that I'll do that day. Yeah. I was watching Hell's Kitchen, Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, your brain is like, you need to eat. So I'm going to put food like in your consciousness always.
That's all I do. I look up food
almost all day long.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, why isn't that torture? I was like, no, dude, I'm
It's-
living through it.
You get secondhand, like, yeah,
It's-
I relate
Fried
to
chicken.
100%.
I know everything there is to know about Korean fried chicken.
Oh, I remember those days just watching food and being like, I can't wait to eat. I had it all timed out, so I like ate at the same time. I would just be like counting down the minutes, like, go eat this thing.
I have a question for you. Did you feel that you got annoyed at people that would tell you, hey, like, you're almost done?
I didn't tell a lot of people of like what I was actually doing.
Okay.
So no, I don't even think I got that feedback. I would say I think I was more irritable, definitely being constantly hungry, like have a short-tempered more so. But no, I didn't have that problem. I guess a lot of people knew well, you were posting about it while you were doing it, right?
Yeah, I was posting about it while I was doing
Yeah.
it. And like family would be like, oh, like you're halfway there, only 7 days to go. I was like, do you have any idea how long it is to not eat for 7? Like, it's like, we're gonna stop saying you're almost there. Or people will be like, oh, there's only 4 days to go. And I was like, have you ever not eaten for 4 days?
Now, did anybody try to tell you like it's unhealthy? I'm like, don't do it. Like, stop.
Oh, I got a ton of that on social media. My parents were pretty terrified about it at first until I started getting like all the medical supplies to like, kind of check my vitals. So I had like a blood pressure cuff, glucose monitor, SpO2 monitor. I had like actual things to make sure I wasn't like dying. Which at times when I stopped drinking water, I'd be like, okay, my vitals are getting pretty off. Like we gotta fix that. But I got pretty bad backlash from Meta on it. I'm now fully restricted on Instagram and Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, it's like you can't, you know, like how some people like you have to search their name, like, and you have to like do it like by the character, or else you can't find them. That's me right now. Still, yeah. I put in like 7 appeals. I put in one for each video, and then I put one for my account for the not recommended. They said it's gonna take about 2 months to follow up on it. It's been about a month.
That sucks.
Yeah. It was like, it's funny because it happened at the very end. I think because essentially you're able to report people on posts, and then an AI goes through and then deems it good or not good. And then there's a series of that goes on. And then if it gets essentially denied twice, like you're fucked.
Yeah.
That happened 7 times.
Mr. Beast can do it, but Rob can't.
Well, I think YouTube is good, and I get the concept from somebody who is their platform is sell advertisements. I don't think an advertiser like wants to be on a post that's like this person's not eating for 14 days, and then little old Jimmy over here who's like 13 years old decides to do it and then dies.
Yeah.
So like I get that concept, I understand it.
There should be an avenue where you could be like, all right, don't put any ads on these videos.
Yes,
You should be banning your whole channel. Oh, not banning, but shadow banning essentially.
it literally is I'm shadow banned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand from both sides. I think that it is unfortunate. I get it. It's like, because it's not like other people are like, there's like, hey, here's a picture of it. Like, you can literally see me go from 204 pounds 2 weeks later to like 177.
Wow.
Like,
That's crazy.
it's like, you're just like every day, it's like, all right, guys, I'm getting pretty thin.
Quick.
Yeah. So yeah. So people didn't like it. And a lot of people with eating disorders, like that's super triggering for them. So they got pretty upset. So yeah, it went under the suicidal eating disorder and self-harm guidelines of you're not allowed to do on Meta.
Damn.
So
Maybe I'll start posting to X. I'll like redo it.
Yeah. How was like coming off of that 14-day fast? Were you able to eat normal stuff like quickly? I think I've heard you have to like kind of go slow in it.
It's true. Fucked up pretty bad on that one.
Yeah.
I did a couple avocados, a couple eggs and stuff to start. And I was feeling pretty decent. And it's weird, like when you start like eating again, like you can literally feel like, because that's to go through your whole day. There's just some like, it's like an old car starting up. Like the rumbles and the grumbles, like, holy smokes, it's happening. That was fine. And like about an hour and a half later, I was like, I really want a fucking steak. So I had about a pound of steak about 3 hours into breaking the fast. That made so much blood rush to my stomach, which essentially during a fast, your blood volume decreases because there's no use for all that blood. You're not really doing much. Your body's trying to conserve energy. So it's like low heart rate, low blood volume. you throw in a bunch of food in your stomach, your blood volume doesn't just increase. Like you have to drink a lot of water for that to happen over multiple days. So like all the blood now rushes to your stomach. So like I also tried to do a workout that day. And now your blood's trying to rush to your extremities. And I was on a coaching call for like fixing myself in regards to PT and rehab. Like I'm full on blacking out. Like not like, oh, I stood up too quickly. It's like I'm full on blacking out. Like can't think, can't hear, like dying. And I was like, I hung up the call, like mid-call with his coach. And essentially like had to lay down. Like my roommate's like, dude, you look fucked up. Like I'm like completely pale. Essentially like I was just overstressing my heart. So that was stupid. Don't do that. Then slept for about 5-6 hours, woke up, ate some yogurt, you know, try to put more probiotic. You have probiotics in your stomach to be able to start digesting stuff. Turns out also there's another thing that can happen is that if you eat certain foods and you don't have any like probiotics in your stomach just can't digest it. And the food will sit there not digesting and then like calcify and then clog up your stomach and you'll die. So we fixed that. We had a lot of good things for the next day and a half. And then by day 3, I was having like 3 pounds of steak a day again. Like normal foods, like sushi, Mexican food. Like, yeah, did I shit pretty hard? Yep, that's going to happen. I also, for that long of fast, I don't know if this happens normally, but like, you might find this funny, like no bowel control.
I was gonna ask you, why don't you?
Dude, standing in the kitchen cooking, shit myself. Like,
Wait, while you were fasting?
no, after the fast, like when you start like, I could like, there's no like, it was like to be like 85, like there's no warning. It's just like poop. I remember my roommate's like, you just shit yourself? I was like, I don't know, dude, like I can't help it. So that happened.
What about while you were fasting? Did you like stop going to the bathroom after like?
I went on beginning of day 3. I went on day 1, day 3, and then like day 11. That was it. Right after I finished my fast, I like pooped out a bunch of just like bile. I think I was like stuff that was just stuck in my digestive system. But yeah, that's pretty much it, the whole fast.
So you had some tough experiences with running, but you've gone back to it. Are you gonna go back to fasting anytime soon, or no? No plans for that.
I did a fast beforehand. I think that the general consensus from the people who like put out the majority of the information is like do about 7 days of fasting per year, at least 72 hours per fast, to get those benefits of autophagy, which is essentially your body runs out of energy or things to use as energy, so it breaks down cells that are useless. Sometimes those could be cancer cells or dementia cells.
I have heard that that's been proven to be true.
It's not, there's not as many studies as there needs to be proven true. And they can't,
Correlation or something.
yeah. And like with the stem cell production as well, like it can't be proven true. But for stem cells, essentially there's this molecule that attaches to a stem cell that they're able to track. And that molecule increases. So I don't think they've been able to really prove in regards to how many stem cells are like actually quantifying stuff, but they do see a correlation. I personally just thought it was a really fucking hard task to do, and I was injured, so I just did it. But yeah, that's a fast.